Hi everyone, my name is Lauren, and today I'll be explaining how hypothyroidism and iron deficiency anemia are connected through their shared symptom of fatigue for my pathophysiology comparison project. I'll also go over how each condition causes the fatigue, how they're different, some common symptoms in each disorder, how they're diagnosed, and how they're also treated. I will start with hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism is what happens when the thyroid gland, which is a little butterfly-shaped gland in your neck, doesn't produce enough thyroid hormone, specifically T3 and T4. These hormones are responsible for regulating the body's metabolism. Normally, they stimulate cells to use oxygen and other nutrients to produce ATP, which is the main energy source for your body. When T3 and T4 levels are low, the metabolic rate of your body slows down. When your metabolic rate slows down, mitochondria in your cells produce less ATP, muscles don't generate energy as efficiently, and even the heart pumps less effectively. Since there's less energy available throughout your body, people often feel tired all the time, regardless of how much sleep they get. Other common symptoms with hypothyroidism include weight gain, cold intolerance, constipation, dry hair and skin. You could also have hair thinning, slow heart rate, muscle weakness, and what's generally considered or described as brain fog, which is just a general difficulty concentrating. Hypothyroidism is usually diagnosed with blood work. In primary hypothyroidism, typically you will see an elevated TSH level because the pituitary gland is trying to stimulate the thyroid by sending out TSH to the thyroid, along with low T4, and oftentimes T3 will also be low as well. If you have Hashimoto's thyroiditis, the cause is autoimmune based, and so therefore anti-TPO antibodies will also show up on blood work. Comparing that to iron deficiency anemia, iron deficiency anemia develops when the body doesn't have enough iron to make hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the protein inside red blood cells that carries the oxygen throughout your body to the tissues that need it. Without enough iron, less hemoglobin is produced, so red blood cells are not able to carry as much oxygen because they are produced smaller and paler than a normal red blood cell should be. When the body's tissues aren't getting enough oxygen that they need, cells can't produce aerobic respiration efficiency, which means they produce less ATP. And going back before, ATP is the main source of energy for the body. So just like with hypothyroidism, the end result is fatigue because both disorders go through a pathway that ends up with less ATP for your body, which means fatigue because your body doesn't have enough energy. Some common symptoms of iron deficiency anemia include fatigue. You can also have weakness, pale skin, shortness of breath, dizziness with exertion and activity. You could also manifest headaches with iron deficiency anemia. Usually people have brittle nails or spoon-shaped nails, glossitis, and sometimes pica, which is a craving for eating foods or things that are not food, like ice, dirt, clay. That's what pica is. Iron deficiency anemia is diagnosed using several laboratory tests. Typically, you will see in an individual with iron deficiency anemia, they will have low hemoglobin, low hematocrit, low ferritin levels, low serum iron levels, but they will reflect a high total iron binding capacity. They could also show low transferrin saturation And usually MCH and MCV are low as well with iron deficiency anemia. Generally, both of these conditions have quite overlapping symptoms, so it's important to test for both iron deficiency anemia and hypothyroidism to rule out one or the other and figure out its cause and the treatment for it. Treatment for hypothyroidism normally is thyroid replacement hormone therapy. Medications like levothyroxine, Synthroid are taken daily to replace the thyroid hormones that your body is not able to make either enough of or at all. Generally, this also comes with possible thyroid surgery to correct underlying issues as well. With iron deficiency anemia, usually dietary iron supplementation corrects it. With people that have malabsorption issues, you could take vitamin C with your iron to help your body absorb it better. In more difficult cases, I guess you could do IV iron infusions for people who don't do well with oral supplements. And in the worst of cases with iron deficiency anemia, you could also, blood transfusions are an option. So even though the pathways are different for both iron deficiency anemia and for hypothyroidism, they both meet at the same endpoint. Less ATP means less energy available for your body and its cells, and that's why fatigue is such a significant symptom in both conditions. Understanding the underlying pathophysiology helps explain why the two completely different diseases can cause very similar symptoms, and why laboratory testing is very important to determine the correct diagnosis and the correct treatment for each. I hope that was very helpful in my explanation. Thank you.